Hi, I'm Alex Williams, enterprise writer at TechCrunch here at South by Southwest in the Hangar Lounge with David Sachs, founder, CEO of Yammer, now with Microsoft. Hey,
Good to be with you.
great. I'm curious about what your perspective is about South by Southwest from an enterprise point of view. I spoke to someone the other day who said that last year people were asking about iOS development, and this year they're asking about data scientists, they're asking about enterprise sales. I'm wondering what your observations are about South by from an enterprise perspective.
Well, I think this conference just seems to have gotten bigger and bigger, and just what's interesting about it is the range of different topics and areas that they cover. It's the only conference that I know of that not only does online sort of digital stuff, but they also do music and film. So, but within the online stuff, enterprise has just become kind of a hot topic in the last year or so, and it's become. All of a sudden, enterprise is sexy, and people are realizing that you can create real businesses there. And so we're just seeing, I think, it's probably just reflecting the fact that there's a lot of renewed interest and activity going on in the enterprise segment.
Well, one thing is that social has kind of reached a hype stage, and now we're moving into, I think, more of like how people can get work done and how they can be more effective in their work. And the apps still, are still very much conversation based, and they always will be. But the conversation doesn't seem to be pulling as deep into the fabric, of the applications themselves, and then providing that capability to connect data into them. How are you guys trying to solve that problem?
Well, that's something we've been working on for a while, and we've been making Yammer a place you can get work done and not just talk about it. Obviously, we started with the feed, and as a way to have these sort of open conversations across the company, and there was no way to really do that before. So that was a starting point. But over the last couple of years, we've really been adding content to Yammer, so you can obviously attach files and photos and other types of content to your messages. And thanks to some of the integrations we're doing with Microsoft, you're going to be able to open. So if you attach like a Word file or Excel file or PowerPoint file to your Yammer message, you can be able to open it directly in the feed and start working on it in the feed and edit it in the feed, make it collaborative. So there's definitely some benefits that we're going to get from being able to access Microsoft technology.
How, for instance, I'm curious about syncing capabilities. What kind of change should we see in your capability to do better syncing?
In terms of content or files or?
In between the content, for instance, between a product manager, engineering, marketing, and other groups, where there's, for instance, updates to tasks or updates to, for instance, a Gantt chart, those kinds of things.
Well, Yammer already has versioning, so if you upload a new version of a file, we actually track it in a log. I think what's kind of next on the file roadmap, so I mentioned integrating with Office web apps. The other one is integrating with SkyDrive, which is Microsoft's technology for desktop syncing. So, we are going to plug Yammer into SkyDrive, and you'll be able to access your Yammer content through the SkyDrive client. So, like a Dropbox or a Box, you're going to be able to basically get your Yammer content in folders through your desktop.
How about the ability for Yammer to become part of a broader ecosystem within Microsoft, not just internally within Microsoft, within Office, but there are so many other apps out there, that you could be integrating with all the time. Dropbox, for instance, or Box, or any of the others. And I know you guys have been building that ecosystem. Is that going to have to change at all? Are you going to be continuing to push much deeper outwards into the external markets, or will you be focusing more internally with Microsoft?
Our philosophy towards our platform has not really changed at all. We want Yammer to be a standard. What we see in the market is that during the first few years of Yammer's existence, everyone questioned this idea of social in the enterprise. They were very skeptical that social networking could be a business tool. And then I think Yammer proved that it was, and now everyone's building feeds and profiles into their business apps, and we think there's a lot of redundancy there, and we see a lot of fragmentation. Companies end up having a dozen different social networks. So the goal of the Yammer platform is to create a single social layer across the enterprise. It's something we're very committed to. I think Microsoft appreciates the benefit of creating standards, and so we continue to put resources into it. Some of the features of Yammer platform is we have Yammer Connect, which allows our users to log into any third-party site using their Yammer profile and identity. We also have the Yammer Activity Feed API, so third-party apps can publish activity stories into the Yammer feed, much like you would into the Facebook ticker. So, the platform is important to us, and we're continuing to, we're open to working with every application that's out there. Obviously, we also have the opportunity to integrate more natively with Microsoft apps, and we're working on that as well. But we want this to be a platform for every type of application.
So, what is the future, that we can kind of see here at South by Southwest, in terms of the way we live and work? Mm-hmm. What is it in your perspective that you're seeing here and that you can look out going forward?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the vision of Yammer from the beginning has been that every single company would have its own social network for its employees to collaborate and share. It'd be a private, secure network. And so even though it would sort of resemble the social networking tools that people use in their personal lives, it would be a sort of an enterprise-grade solution. And I think over the last 4 years, we've really seen that vision prove out, but we see, there's still a long way to go. And, that's really our goal, is to get a social network in every company.
Well, great, David. Thank you very much for taking some time.
Thank you.